Riley John, can you do something for me? Riley John, can you do something for me?
Her Loss by Drake and 21 Savage is out now. We're gonna give our best and worst.
I was a certified lover boy, but honestly, never mind. It's her loss.
Before we get into it, make sure you like the video, subscribe if you want to see more, HIVEMINDTV.com for our brand new merch, Cope's website for our other merch, our Patreon and Cameo are linked in the description as always, and subscribe to our second channel, HIVEMIND Unlimited. Lyrics, features, beats, samples, songs. That's what we're gonna do our best and worst of. 5 categories.
Got it.
And at the end, we'll talk about what we overall feel about the album.
Yes.
Starting with lyrics.
All right.
21, can you do something for me?
When he says stuff like this, what do you think he means?
I don't know, the internet seems to have a lot of theories.
Yeah.
I've seen so many that are like when they were recording this part and it's 21 Savage like dancing or like confused.
Yeah.
It's like, 21, can you do something for me? And he's like, 21. What do I do now? Can you do something for me? What? You mean switch your laundry for you? Or
Go to the store.
The sassy Drake coming out the gate was really good though. Like I love hearing that. It's just such a catchy, like he knows what this is gonna live like on the internet, you know?
I mean, it really primed it for more 21 than we got, but we'll get to that point later. But like when I heard this first song, I was like, oh, here he is kind of handing the baton off, and then he got greedy. Turned into a ball hog about halfway through the album.
Yeah. In this mansion on Macaulay Culkin.
Is Macaulay a real name?
It's only for the Culkin family. Like I've never met another Macaulay.
What a strange name.
And it's spelled so weird. The L-A-Y at the end, like Macaulay.
Macaulay.
Hey, Macaulay, let us in. We're trying to steal your shit. I'm funny how?
He's home alone in his mansion. Now we got our first 21 bar, which is shoot his feet, got him doing dances, wiggin' dudes like I played at Kansas. So Andrew Wiggins played for Kansas, is that right?
That is right.
See, I didn't know that, but I heard it and connected those things. I was like, Andrew Wiggins must have played for the Kansas Jayhawks.
Air Canada. Wiggins is from Canada. He was kind of the pride and joy, like maybe the highest prospect ever from Canada.
Oh, okay.
And so it's got a Drake connection there as well. 21 saying it. Wiggin, like taking someone's wig off with the chopper.
Okay, sure.
Which is a classic 21 killing people bar. He's shooting their feet though, which is kind of weird because people don't wear wigs on their feet.
Well, he's doing both.
He's doing both.
Yeah, he's shooting at their feet, but then also wigging them.
Dance.
Yeah, it's like he shoots at their feet to make them dance and then takes their head straight off, scalps them.
Shout out Andrew Wiggins, who's become a great role player.
And he also made the All-Star team because of BTS, right?
Yes, correct.
That's pretty cool. Second 21 bar, Harry Styles numbers, it's a robbery. My dudes go insane to catch a body.
Wasn't on my 2022 bingo card.
It's funny to me to imagine 21 Savage being like, oh, I got it. The One Direction members. I'm gonna go Harry Styles numbers here, and then I'm gonna mention Zayn, who's also a part of One Direction.
I love insane.
Yeah, insane.
I'm insane.
From On BS, Drake says, popped an Adderall, I feel like I can lift a tree up.
He is 36 years old.
Yeah.
He's like, ooh, I'm about to take a little Adderall. And then he's like, I'm so geeked. Like, I can't. Like, he's a grown-ass man.
His, like, whole relationship with drugs is so funny. He's, like, talking about taking half.
Yeah.
Like, he's always like, ooh, maybe he's dabbling. He's, like, 36 and dabbling.
Took my first X pill. Now I'm feeling crazy, man. Like, we danced all night and, like, talked about our feelings. It's like, all right, dude, chill out. You have a child.
I can, like, totally imagine him, like, taking the Adderall and he looks over and he's like, dude, I feel crazy. Like, dude, this is awesome. Do you have a cigarette? I feel like doing homework. He feels like he'd lift a tree up. It's so funny to imagine. Drake takes Adderall, runs outside. It's like, ah!
I know I can't do it, but I feel like I can.
This one's both Drake and 21.
Yes.
So it starts with 21, then goes to Drake. 21 says, jump on your song and make you sound like you the feature. And then Drake says, I jump on your song and make a label think they need you, for real.
I do wish we got more of this on the album.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things that happens early on where I'm like, here we go. They're gonna trade bars. Like, Drake's gonna hype up 21. He's gonna come in, and then it just kind of dissipates.
Yeah, I mean, it happens like one more time.
Yeah.
And it's the Adidas, that whole thing where they go back and forth.
One more time.
No,
we're getting there. We're getting there.
I know, yeah. This is great though because 21 is like known as the feature killer. So he's like really describing himself, like that's true. And then Drake is known for making a song with somebody very early in their career and then labels sign them. And a lot of time it doesn't even work out.
Right.
Like they're kind of a one-hit wonder and Drake is known as almost like the Madden curse in a certain way. Block Boy JB, McConan.
Yeah, you get that early Drake feature and you think it's gonna make your career. He criticizes people about that like later on in the album too.
Yeah. Yeah, the Privileged Rappers song too. But they're both self-aware enough to have this, even though it's just a funny little exchange.
Yeah,
you know?
it's a nice trade though.
And then we get
Our savior.
I blow $500,000 on you hoes, I'm a feminist.
Yeah.
I love this bar. I think like there's certain times where Drake crosses lines on this album where he's definitely white knighting, being a little bit of like a just pandering.
Yeah.
Or he crosses it the other way where it's just way too problematic. If it was just this, we could all laugh at this. In one breath, Drake is calling them hoes and then saying he's a feminist. Which it's just, he can get away with shit like that. It's funny.
Yeah, it's classic Drake.
But it's also like, come on.
You didn't have to.
But I do like $500,000. It's like the idea, it's like we're splitting it 50-50. Like it's equal. Like I'm taking $500,000, you're taking $500,000. That's how it should be. End the wage gap.
I'm also picturing him spending like $500,000 at a strip club and him thinking it's philanthropic.
Yeah, that's altruism for Drake.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, gave to charity yesterday. These poor women. Next we got, tried to bring the drama to me. He ain't know how he cha-cha slide.
No, this is the drum diss.
And I didn't catch this until you pointed it out to me. There are a lot of subtle disses throughout this album, some not so subtle as well that we'll get to. But if you don't remember, Drum had that song Cha Cha out, and it was going crazy. It was like one of the most popular songs out at the time. And when Hotline Bling dropped, I actually remember a few news outlets reporting that Drake had released a Cha Cha remix. They do have similar sounds, not the same sample, but then I believe that Drum and his team sued Drake for plagiarism of some sort.
Yeah.
Kind of like making something that sounded too close to the song that they had out. Whatever the deal was, it didn't work out so well for Drum compared to Drake. And Hotline Bling is a much bigger song. People barely remember Cha Cha.
Yeah.
They remember Drum for Broccoli.
Yes.
You know? But it's just weird, like, timing.
Yeah, and it just seems like a real, like, shooting really low. Leave Drum alone, Drake.
Yeah, Drum's making, like, beautiful soul songs now.
Yeah, and his name's Shelly. You're really going after, like, a 12-year-old beef?
He switched back to Drum.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Well, either way, leave him out of it. But I did see Drum make a video saying he would fight Drake.
Really?
Yeah.
After this came out?
Yeah. He's literally like in his house and he's like, Drake, I square up, like, let's make it happen. Like, I will beat your ass. Like, just challenge him to a fight directly.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'd love to see it. Two beautiful R&B crooners just duking it out.
She attend trying to rap, it's good on mute.
Now, this one's supposedly about Ice Spice.
See, I feel like it's kind of a stretch to just assume. Everybody assumed right away this is about Ice Spice.
Yeah.
And yes, Drake was seen with Ice Spice and then like unfollowed her and whatever the whole thing is. I feel like that's, I don't know, this could be about anybody.
Yeah, it does feel a little weird. I know there's rumors that he was thinking of signing her, but then didn't. So I don't know, but it does seem like a bit of a stretch. And I saw everyone just immediately say, oh, Ice Spice, Ice Spice.
Yeah, usually this lyric card legitimately has a picture of Ice Spice on it.
Right.
And she did tweet, at least I'm a 10. So she thinks it's about her too.
Fair, which is good.
Or at least
for
is
her.
playing into it.
Yeah. I love Ice Spice's music. If this is about her, me and Drake got problems.
I don't know if I love it, but I definitely think it's less offensive than people are making. Like, that happens with so many. Women have such a harder time with this shit. If you're just like a normal, decent rapper out there putting out songs that have a hit, and you're a woman, they're like, oh my God, the worst music of all time just came out. And how could you ever listen to Ice Spice? It sounds like somebody scratching a chalkboard while kicking a goat.
Yeah.
Like,
chill out.
It's fine. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's good to listen to. It's not like, I don't think she's an amazing rapper, but I don't think she's any worse than just middle of the pack.
Right.
You know? People just hate women, and that's what it is. They just secretly hate women.
A lot of this album's about that. So.
I know. We'll get into it.
Yeah, chauvinist pigs. Her loss got me looking up the definition of chauvinist yesterday.
Yeah, who the president? I never voted once. If I did, I would vote Tiana Trump.
A lot of things to say here.
Go ahead.
He's Canadian.
Well, yeah, I think he's dual citizen at this point, probably.
Whatever. Stay the fuck out of our politics.
I guess.
Then using the porn star who shares the last name with Donald Trump. I don't know. It feels like baiting into something kind of weird.
This is just like a dumb bar.
Yeah.
Who cares? He's literally just like saying you would vote for Tiana Trump for president. She's not running. Her last name's just Trump. Whatever.
I think it made everyone on first listen rewind a little bit. They were like, did he say Donald? Did he say it?
I don't think anybody heard Donald.
I did.
I don't know. I think it's funny. It reminded me of his deep fake Howard Stern interview when he's just talking about how like the throat goats being like to him, like those are the superstars of the world and people who are good at sucking dick. Like it's so funny to me. He is 36. Like he shouldn't say all that.
No, he shouldn't.
But it's funny that he does.
Yeah.
He's like my favorite little singing man-child.
A lot of this album does feel like 30-something-year-olds trying to reassert themselves as the cool guys in school.
Yep, that's exact. I was gonna get to that in my overall thing.
I know.
Yeah.
Jay-Z did kind of a similar thing when he came out of retirement, you know? And then a lot of his lyrics and stuff is like, man, you're still rapping like you're 25. It feels weird. It feels like the old guys in the club being like, no, we're still with it.
No, it's a midlife crisis album.
Yeah,
That's literally what
really
this is. That's all it is. He saw gray hair in the mirror and made this album. Unprivileged rappers. This is awesome, though. Like, he knows what he's doing with this.
Yeah.
I think that that's a good thing that Drake is able to do. People can say he's the hardest rapper ever, and he can also get on a song and say purr as an ad-lib.
Yeah, it just, I mean, why you gotta diss Ice Spice then, you know? She's the purr queen.
Purr.
Purr, Drizzy.
21 says, why you pull up at 1 in the morning and sit on the edge of the bed? For what?
When I watched Kai Cenat.
Yeah.
I watched his stream of the album, and he lost his mind over this lyric. You'd think 21 just solved, like, pi or something, like a grand experiment. He pauses it. Why are you gonna come over? Why are you sitting like that? His energy's off the charts, and that's honestly made it a little entertaining, but I don't know, people loved this bar for whatever reason, and I think it's very stupid.
It's very, like, latent misogyny shit,
Right.
whatever.
If it's this late at night, we're fucking. Why are you playing around?
It's just an expectation thing, an implication thing that's just, like, ugly and, like, plays into whatever. It's not that deep, but it's, like, it's just a stupid bar. It doesn't even have to be one that should stand out, but of course it's gonna stand out to, like, people in that chat, you know?
Yeah, and then everyone in the chat's like, www.
Like, facts.
Facts, bro. Yeah, facts.
Like, why would she come over and just sit on the edge of the bed, bro?
She's sitting on the edge of my bed right now while I'm watching your stream. It's like, no shit, man.
Who cares? It's just a random thing 21 Savage said.
Yeah.
But he did have a lot of, like, period bars.
Yeah. Oh, it's your time of the month. Suck it? Question mark. It's like, bro, chill.
And then the other one, it's like, why'd you come over if it's your time of the month? If you knew that, why would you come over?
Yeah. Maybe she wanted to spend quality time with you, 21, because she likes your company. What the fuck? Put a movie on, get her a hot compress, her favorite bowl of soup, and a pickle.
Or, guys, if you're ever out of, you don't have like a heated blanket or a pad or anything laying around to help her, get on your laptop, open all the Adobe programs, and just set it on her stomach. It'll help, trust me. Here we go. Here comes the pandering.
Yeah.
We've got Drake with, damn, just turned on the news and seen that men who never got pussy in school are making laws about what women can do.
I mean, this has the same kind of like one hand this, one hand that as the hoes, I'm a feminist.
Yes.
It's like, these guys got no pussy, and they're deciding what women can do with their body. It's like, bro, chill out.
It's like, first of all, you don't measure a man by how much pussy he's gotten. That's not, and you shouldn't even say pussy he's gotten in general.
I don't like saying it on the channel.
Neither do I. I don't like saying it either, but you don't measure a man that way. You don't measure anyone of any gender that way. I mean, I agree that these men should not be making laws about what women can do with their bodies.
Exactly.
But you made me fight through hell to agree with that on the second half, and I don't even think you mean it.
Yeah.
You know? You're just doing this to get people to talk.
It also makes me feel like what if Mitch McConnell was like a hunky jock? Would Drake be all right with it then? He's like, well, at least he got laid in high school. Like he knows what a woman's body's like. I can trust him.
He's very familiar with the subject matter, you know?
I mean, that guy lays pipe. Mitch McConnell's like, yeah, no abortion.
He's like, toss me that. Yeah, abortion's illegal. Sorry. And Drake's like, okay, I trust this guy.
Tight spiral.
All right. This one. 4 words when I think about them is crusty, musty, dusty, rusty. 8 words when I think about us is fuck me, fuck me, fuck me, fuck me.
This one's gonna live forever, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's all over TikTok already.
Yeah, thirst traps and rusty cars.
It just feels so elementary. Like, this is literally like a children's book.
And then Drizzy said when he thinks about them, they're crusty, musty, dusty, and rusty. See the picture, Glass? And 8 words when he thinks about us. Fuck me, fuck me, fuck me, fuck me. And here's Drizzy getting laid.
Now in Hours in Silence, we got, your funeral is finna have like 10 caskets on display. 1 for you, the other 9 for everything you're taking to the grave.
She lying or something?
No, it's the opposite. After that, he says you don't play any games. Like, you are gonna take a bunch of stuff that we talked about to the grave. Like, I trust you.
Ah.
But it is so corny. Like, this is one of his R&B singing one. Like, the delivery makes this worse. Like, reading it, it's like, whatever. Like, I saw people saying this was a great bar. And I'm like, dude, come on.
Yeah, I don't like it at all.
I just hate writing like this. It feels like fake deep, like J. Cole shit. Now, this one I'm conflicted about. It's either an incredible bar or an awful bar.
Go ahead, because I don't really get it.
All weapons formed against me gotta jam. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. It's from the Bible.
All right.
So he's referencing that, but then all weapons formed against me gotta jam.
The biblical reference kind of cool. Modern context, kind of changing the vernacular of it.
I think
clever.
on an album with 21, he gets to do a little bit more of the gunplay bars, you know?
He gets to be a little more gangster than he probably is.
Yeah, but then it's also on Hours in Silence, which is a full-on R&B song.
Yeah, it feels weird. It's not a great bar to me.
I don't know. I still like it. Like when I read it right here, I'm like, that's hard. But in the context of the song, I'm like, all right, Drake.
Yeah.
Now this one was my runner-up for best bar on the album. I don't show ID at clubs because they know that I'm 21.
I just wish he had said it 5 years ago.
That's fair.
I wish he had said it on Savage Mode 1. It seems like such an obvious, like he should have thought of this earlier.
Yeah, but all of his projects have been so cold-blooded.
Yeah.
That when it's on a Drake song, he kind of gets to do some flexing that isn't about like, you know, killing ops.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
Like
going out to the club. He's
yeah,
having a fun night.
And he's very famous now. So it
Yeah.
is the idea like his face card works. It's
True.
like they know that I'm 21 Savage, so they let me in.
It's a clever double entendre there.
It hits in the context of the song. I'm
It
like,
does.
that's fire.
It is good. This song bangs too. I like this one.
It's like one of my least favorites.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later, I guess. Now, this is the precursor to my least favorite bar on the entire album, but leading up to it right here, I like this one. Way I'm dressing till I've been to 1,000 islands. 1,000 island dressing.
I know. It makes me picture Drake covered in ranch. I don't like that
Yeah,
image.
I don't like it.
It's gross.
He's dressed really nice.
Yeah, he's a salad. I get it.
Linking with the ops, bitch, I did that shit for Jay Prince.
It's kind of a Kanye diss. Not kind of, it definitely is.
One of the most overt
Yes.
disses on the entire album. Definitely about Kanye. It's like that picture. It's Jay Prince, Kanye, and Drake together. It leaves the door open on that beef.
For sure. And in the current climate, as a Jewish man, he's like open to take as many shots as he wants at Kanye.
That's true, yeah. I don't think that Ye knows that Drake is Jewish. In these interviews where he is saying some of like the most putrid anti-Semitic garbage, he is literally praising Drake constantly throughout this whole press run. It's so weird.
Whatever. Drake's winning right now.
Now we get into some conspiracy theory shit. So there's the one bar that a lot of people are pointing out on TikTok, which is the one where the beat gets cut out and Drake says, I'm gonna take a 20, break it, I'll take a 10, take a 5, whatever, that whole thing. And then if he didn't run his mouth on live, he'd be alive again. A lot of people are saying that's about XXXTentacion.
Correct.
Based on Roman numeral math.
10 is the X, do a 10. He said some shit on live.
People have their theories about that. Here's one that I picked up. I've not seen anybody talk about it, but it's one that stuck out to me as very weird. Bitch, I did it for the mob ties. Feel like 17, 2 Perks, Frog Eyes. The last 2 lines, 2 Perks, Frog Eyes, is apparently a reference to another Toronto rapper, I think. But bitch, I did it for the mob ties. Mob ties is Drake's song off Scorpion that a lot of people say was about X.
That kind of started it, right? This started this conspiracy?
No, the conspiracy was there before. That really played into it though.
Right.
Because X straight up posted on his story, if I die, it was Drake. I'm snitching right now.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing, but that's what X said on his story after their whole beef happened with the KMT, Look at Me, that whole thing. The song Mob Ties is the one that it says Louis bags in exchange for body bags. A lot of references that people think are about X's death. Feel like 17 here.
Out of place.
That's just the name of X's debut album though.
Right.
Did it for the Mob Ties, Feel like 17. It's just very weird. Maybe there's another explanation that I'm not getting, but it just feels like he's either playing into that conspiracy or straight up referencing it.
Which is fucked up and dark.
Yeah, it's very dark. Let me know if you guys think maybe there's another explanation that I'm missing. But I got these diamonds on my neck, so it's a blind date. This is just a classic good Drake bar.
Bing! They're blinded.
Love is Blind. Season 3 on Netflix now.
Check us out. We both got eliminated early, but
Yeah. Now 21. All the ops get a bullet on some Oprah shit.
I love this one.
I hate this one.
I know. We were talking about it yesterday. You don't like it. He's giving away bullets to the ops. This one's for you.
You get a bullet. You get a bullet. You get a bullet. You get a bullet. Check under your seat. There's a bullet. I just feel like it's cliche. It's just been used before and there's no like double entendre.
Yeah, it's
Just
true.
everyone gets one. It's like, you know, Kanye on Life of Pablo is like, I'm the ghetto Oprah. you get a fur, you get a check, whatever, the whole thing. It's been done before, and this one doesn't like have anything extra. It's just a plain bar.
Yeah.
Like, to me, this is like a filler bar.
It's memorable for me for whatever reason.
Grant really wanted this bar in here. I don't know what this is about. Still got to see the Gunners win Premier League.
Arsenal. Arsenal.
21 Savage with all the gun bars would be an Arsenal fan.
He's an English citizen. We all found that out.
Right, he was born in the UK.
I think it's fun to see him playing into his home country's favorite sport. And he likes gunplay. They're called the Gunners. I like this one a lot.
So he wants to see Arsenal win Premier League.
Come on, boys. Let's kick the goals.
Me too.
Oh yeah, Grant's a big Arsenal fan.
Yes.
He's just like 21 for real.
For real.
DJ Grant and 21 Savage are kind of like that.
DJ Grant, can you do something for me?
This is my favorite hook writing on the entire album. They say more money, more problems. Bring on the problems. More money, more problems, Biggie reference.
It's all right. This isn't my favorite, but I do love this song a lot.
It's not the most clever bar, but it is clever for a hook. If the money comes with problems, I'll take the money. Now we're getting to Middle of the Ocean, which probably has the most notable bars on the entire album. Like, it's the most packed, dense song with a lot of clever stuff in it. So, casual sex, I'm like, fuck a dress code. Very simple, but I like stuff that's written like this.
Me too.
They're having casual sex, fuck a dress code. You don't have to wear anything.
Naked.
Because it's sex. So ignorant in our hood, they'd be like, why the fuck you making techno?
Love this bar.
Yeah, you explained it to me in a way. I thought of this as kind of a filler throwaway thing until you explained it.
Yeah, because honestly, Nevermind is a house-inspired album. He's trying to make house beats. The ignorance here is that they think everything's techno. Like, all dance music's techno.
Yeah.
Techno, Detroit, house, Chicago. Think about it that way, Drake fans.
And that's why Detroit has such a housing crisis, because they keep making techno instead of making house. There's actually too many houses.
Yeah, there's plenty of houses here.
Not enough people. 8 carrots like vegetarians.
Yeah.
I like this because you could see it as like, okay, vegetarians eat carrots. But it's literally 8 carrots, like past tense. I ate carrots like vegetarians.
Yeah.
But also 8 carrots. Like, I don't know. Like, I can imagine myself coming up with that and being like, whoa, that's nice.
Yeah. A lot of the good bars have that same ring as like the 21 bar to me. It's like, how's he just saying this for the first time?
Swear dudes high-key sick of me. They wifey on my head because I vibe differently.
I vibe differently is a nice little phrase.
This one's so funny to me. Like, I don't think it's good.
No.
Like, I think it's just my favorite type of corny that Drake does.
Yeah. My Riz is off the charts. I'm vibing differently, fam.
I just love the idea of somebody being like, I don't know, I just vibe differently. I guess that's why women like me. Like, there's certain types of guys who will say that. It's not about the cars and the money. It's because I vibe differently.
Your wifey on my head top, bro.
I'm like a cup holder the way that these dimes stick to me.
I really like this one.
Yeah, another one, you explained to me a certain thing about it that made me like it way more.
I just love that his attitude this whole album is how rich and opulent his lifestyle is.
Luxurious.
But he still knows that in a really shitty, dirty car, that like a soda-filled cup holder is gonna get sticky and your loose change gonna stick to it.
I mean, he knows how sticky it gets.
Exactly.
When it comes to cup holders, Drake knows how sticky it gets.
It's just a nice bar. I was like, oh, he's one of us.
He remembers doing those road trips from Cincinnati on to Dayton.
We all do.
Also, that road trip's 40 minutes. I know that's on another album that he says that, but like he literally says road trips from Cincinnati on to Dayton. It's like, that's 40 minutes, man. That's a quick one.
Any farther than that, he's flying.
Playboi Carti has a writing credit on this song, so I'm assuming it's for this bar.
Yeah.
I don't even want to do it. You see it. B.
I do like this song. Everybody says this is the throwaway, but I don't know. I like his flow on it. I think it's fun to see him doing like a Young Thug kind of Carti thing.
I just think he slips into too many impressions on this album. There's like certain moments when he does it. Like this song specifically, he really goes for a Young Thug thing and then references Carti so much. And the fact that it's on a filthy beat also just plays into the fact that this one vibes differently.
Yeah.
You know, like compared to the rest of the album, this one doesn't fit. I think it's a good song on its own. The rest of the album feels cohesive, and this one is like, it's over to the left.
That's fair. Drake's like one of those artists, though, that I will enjoy him doing karaoke. You know what I mean? It feels like he went up there and was like, I'm about to do a Carti song. And it's like, you know what? That's kind of fun because it's you.
He's not been known for pioneering, so it doesn't feel like beneath him. He's allowed to do that, but at the same time, I'm not going to enjoy it the same way I'll enjoy like Middle of the Ocean, him rapping his ass off. half or the first 3 songs, which feel like what Drake and 21 Savage songs should be.
Yeah.
This one just feels like a little side quest.
Yeah.
Should have just gotten Yeet on it and it would have changed everything.
Yeah, I agree.
Everybody's got a stick we don't run fades.
Love this one too.
You explained this one to me as well.
Football reference.
Yeah.
To the routes. So a stick route, I believe, is like a little comeback.
Yeah.
And a fade is like a diagonal towards the pylon out of bounds in the end zone.
And sticks are also guns. So everyone in his crew has guns, so there's no reason for them to fight. You can't fight them, they have guns. Drake's not gonna fist fight you unless it's sanctioned and it's YK Osiris. So it's a nice double entendre.
Yeah.
It also feels like one he should have said 10 years ago.
Exactly.
And it probably has been said by other rappers. Like this feels too obvious. But
Maybe, yeah.
I like it though once I realized that it's a football reference.
Yeah.
Now here's when we get to some bad. This is a runner-up for both of us for worst bar of the album.
I couldn't believe it.
Way that I ran shit, you'd think I was Iranian.
Iranian, Italian. It's like, come on.
There's no reason to say this. Literally feels like you were freestyling and you said something that would have been like, oh, maybe he shouldn't say that. He's just trying to think of shit fast.
It's
but
Drake.
You kept it on the album. Don't do that.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
Aside from the mispronunciation, it's just such a stupid bar. No
So
reason
dumb.
to say it. And the 6 upside down, it's a 9. Obvious Blade reference. That was pretty awesome to see him like show love to kind of like the next Drake in a certain way. It's a passing of the torch moment.
To Blade.
To Blade, yeah. Couldn't even land in the Hamptons. They didn't have the stairs for the shit I fly. Swear it's like a metaphor. I can't even get down from the shit I climb.
I hate this one, but this just fits so well with the persona he's created over the years and that he's really taking on in this album. And it's like kind of clever. He's flying the PJ into the Hamptons, but he can't land because they don't have the special staircase for him to come down on. And he's climbed to the heights of his career where he can purchase the PJ and now he can't even come down from it.
And it's just so wordy.
Yeah.
So verbose for like to get this across. It's like, don't even say it at that point. You're just doing way too much. Like, they don't even have the stairs for the shit I fly because I fly this one type of jet. And then, but also that's like a metaphor because like of where I am in my career.
Yeah.
I can't even come down from that
Yeah.
because of the heights I've climbed to. Like, give it up, dude.
Yeah.
Like, just say something else. Now we're getting into our actual picks for best and worst.
Okay.
Starting with my worst, this bitch lie about getting shots, but she's still a stallion. So this was immediately perceived by the internet as a Megan Thee Stallion diss. If it's not, it's definitely meant to appear like one to get people talking. Lil Yachty came out and explained that that's not what Drake meant by this and was saying that it's like she lied about getting ass shots, but she's still a stallion. I think it's impossible for this bar to have happened without the double entendre at least being up there. Drake knew what he was doing, but my theory, honestly, is that Lil Yachty wrote this bar and didn't mean for it to be like that. But when it comes from Drake, it feels impossible for it to not be about that. I think Lil Yachty saw it as maybe like a harmless reference. Not to say that Lil Yachty is impervious from criticism or like couldn't also make a reference that's ugly. It's just like when it comes from Drake, it's too aware. Like the internet is full of a bunch of DJ academics people all assuming that Megan Thee Stallion's been lying from the jump. Before there was any speculation about whether it was true, they immediately were like, Megan's lying, which is rooted in misogyny in general of saying that women are always lying and siding with the guy and his side of the story before you know anything, regardless of the character of anyone involved. And so playing into that is just so fucking pathetic.
Yeah, it's really sad. And it's like, why are you trying to rally those troops to your side? It's not like it's dismissed and like Tory paid and it's settled or something. Like, it's still ongoing.
And the fact that Megan immediately responds to this and comes out shows the reference was not harmless. Even Megan Thee Stallion thought it was about her. Impact is everything. Like, you have to look at the actual results of like saying something like this. It did embolden a bunch of people who think that Megan Thee Stallion is lying, and she had to straight up respond to it before it was even confirmed or denied whether it was about her.
Yeah, in the context of a rather misogynistic record too, it's just like icing on the cake of like, Jesus, fuck, like let it be.
Yeah, like what are you doing? Stop playing into misogynistic narratives.
Exactly.
If you want to get playful, do your little playful misogyny thing. I think people have let Drake get away with that for a long time. And overall, it feels somewhat harmless compared to the stuff he's doing right now, you know? Your least favorite, and it comes from 21 Savage.
Yeah, unfortunately. He says, you ain't fuck no rapper, you a dinosaur. You ancient. I like fried rice, you better cook like you an Asian.
Just straight up
racist.
Yeah, just straight.
This is so antiquated. It feels like early 2000s racism.
Yeah, like the lingering ones where people are like, smoke, now my eyes look, you know,
Yeah.
like that shit. Like those, people still say that as a filler bar, and I'm like,
What the fuck?
what are we doing? You
Yeah.
know? Like, what are we doing? If we're gonna call out some of these other things that have been called out, like, you gotta call out this shit too, because it's just like, that's how stuff gets perpetuated.
Exactly,
That's how
yeah.
stereotypes get perpetuated, is from people just being able to say shit like this. It's like, just don't do this. It's not even clever.
No.
Again, there's no reward for the risk here.
Nope.
Like, it doesn't need to be here.
And like you said, we cut Drake some slack with some things. 21 gets so much slack. You can like talk about gruesome murder and like all these dark topics, and like you're at the peak right now and you have a collab album with Drake. Like, lean in on those things we'll give you a break for, because you have the knife on your head and you're this sinister character in rap. And then you're just like, I like fried rice, you better cook like an Asian. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Now to my favorite, which is very long. It's my favorite Drake stanza. Whipping the Vespa off of 6 tequilas. Big Benjamins like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Drake, you got it. Robert Kraft sent the jet for us. That shit was patriotic. You would think we live in Baltimore the way they raving about the latest product.
Football, 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 football.
4 football references. Big Benjamins, like the Pittsburgh Steelers, so Big Ben Roethlisberger. Then you get Robert Kraft sent the jet for us. That shit was patriotic. Patriots owner is Robert Kraft, correct? And isn't he like a shit guy?
Well, I mean, these are all terrible people he's mentioning. Big Ben, awful guy.
Awful
Robert Kraft, awful guy. Baltimore Ravens, shit piss team.
I mean, pretty good though.
Left Cleveland in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I just like it because, I mean, it's the flow thing here. It's right as the best part of the beat kicks in too.
It's like the snowball too. You're like, all right, that one's good. Big Benjamins, and then another one, then another one, then another one. You're like, damn, okay. That was
And
fire.
it's so visual to start. Whipping the Vespa off of 6 tequilas.
A drunk driving reference too, for all my fans out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of drunk driving fans who watch our show.
Give me my keys.
And a Vespa is such a funny thing to brag about. It's a tiny little motorcycle.
Yeah.
Like, it is like a little scooter.
It implies that you're in Europe, where it's all right for a grown man to ride a scooter around.
All right, now here's your favorite.
Off Rich Flex. I told her ass to kiss me in the club. Fuck a TMZ. I used to want a GMC when Woe was doing B&E. This whole stanza where he's doing the acronym rhymes is just so fire. Like, I could have put the whole thing in here, but I like this one specifically. He's the lover boy.
Yeah.
Kiss me in the club. I don't care what the cameras want to do. Like, I love you. I'll show my affection publicly.
Yeah, fuck TMZ. Who cares?
Nice. That's our feminist, Drake. He used to want a GMC. It's kind of a General Motors car, you know, shout out Detroit, shout out American made. Everybody get a GMC for the most part. Back when Woe was doing B&E.
Breaking and entering.
Yeah, exactly.
Breaking and entering, yeah.
Bang, boom, breaking into people's houses and
Right.
stealing their stuff because you don't have the money. It's just straight up hard.
Yeah, I like it. Overall, lyrically on the album, I do feel like Drake's doing some of his best rapping right now. I just think the character of the album really pulls him back. It's what he's saying, not how he's saying it. But I also feel like, honestly, 21 Savage's rapping on this album really disappointed me. There's a few punchlines, but overall, like, just didn't feel like he stepped up to the plate.
I think I agree with that sentiment, like, entirely in the whole project. I felt like both these guys were primed for something like pushing forward to the next thing, and instead we just got retreading some ugly tropes and stereotypes throughout.
But sonically, I do feel like they capture lightning in a bottle like at least 7 or 8 times on this record. I was 3 songs in on my first listen and was like, this is gonna be a classic.
Yeah, it's like 2 guys playing really well in a game together, and then one gets benched, and the other guy's still playing all right, and then they put the other guy that was benched back in, he's playing all right, but then that guy's on the bench, and then at the end of the game, they come back together, and there's like 1 or 2 good plays. It just didn't feel like the modern classic I expected it to be.
Yeah, I didn't even think it had to feel like a modern classic. I think if it just felt like what Drake and 21 had done before, but a good version of it.
Yeah.
On songs like Sneak In, even Jimmy Cook's, I think everybody would have loved that.
Yeah.
It's just that it was something else entirely. So those are the lyrics that stood out to us. Let us know what your favorite lyrics were down in the comments. We're gonna talk about features now. There's only one listed feature on this album. It is Travis Scott on Pussy and Millions, which I hate saying. But I think he's fantastic on that record. I
Agreed.
think he's awesome. Made me more excited for what Travis Scott's about to do because I said this to you yesterday, but it feels like it's the closest Travis Scott has been.
Yeah.
Not as shrouded in things. You get the big horns behind him, and it feels like you're hearing his voice, which I think is going to be important. I feel like his next record has to be a statement record after all the controversy that happened with him.
Correct.
He does not do any of that here lyrically, which I think is a good thing. I think he's kind of like, I'll show up, but that's for my record. I think he's gonna have to say a lot on his new album, but I like the style of the way his voice is treated, and it makes me feel like that's what we're gonna get next from him, which is cool.
I did really like that feature as well. That's one of my favorite songs on the whole project.
Same here. 21 Savage was kind of the other feature on this record.
Yeah.
He takes up 26% of the runtime.
26.
21% Savage. Drake apparently raps 2 out of every 3 words on the album. Honestly, Lil Yachty might be on this album more than 21.
Not true, but yeah.
Close in terms of like influence on the album.
True.
Lil Yachty does ad-libs on many songs. He produced 4 of the songs and he picked the album cover. So Lil Yachty is very much baked into the DNA of the album and you can feel that. He's like an art director. There's something about the way that Lil Yachty operates. He's like the curator of cool.
Yeah, he's like a non-jazzy Tyler.
Yeah, but Tyler's like selfish with his.
Yeah.
He doesn't go around and do his with other people. Lil Yachty is like everywhere, touching things and like making them cool effortlessly, which I think is sick.
He said he spent 6 months with Drake. Not working on this album specifically, but just like tagging along.
This era of Yachty just makes me very excited. We just got Poland, which like pushed boundaries and was leaked and then just put out there. I just feel like we're about to get like a resurgence of Yachty in that space of like the creative director, executive producer.
Kind of new heights for him.
Yeah. Now for the production of the album. We've picked our best and worst beats, but overall, how do you feel about the production of this album?
It's good. There's some cohesion issues, like we said, with Jumbotron, and I hate the last song so much. It just feels out of place, and like Justin Vernon, Frank Ocean, Kanye West, Drake trying to do something that isn't in his lane.
Yeah, he can do that sometimes, but this record didn't need one.
No, it didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like he literally was like, I gotta do an outro track because it can't end with 21 doing the timestamp song.
Right, which I thought was great.
It was okay.
But all around, I do like the beats on this project. The beat switches don't feel like too harsh. Everyone seems to have those now. It's just like a necessary thing on the album, and he handles those very smooth. Like when it does happen, it's like 21 comes in or he comes in and it's like hard. All around solid production. There's a few beats in there that just feel basic.
It could have gotten more creative at points, definitely. But I also think there are just some beats that 21 didn't need to be on. Like in a weird way, it almost feels like 21 should have been on less of this album. Like there's a few songs that he just shouldn't have had verses on that they just kind of put him in there because like it's a collab album. We gotta fit him in where we can get him in. And Drake was set on having these be the songs. Yeah. And I think Drake fits all of them pretty well, aside from the last song. I don't think that song needs to exist. But I mean, you know, More M's was very tailored for 21. It's a Metro Boomin beat, and it feels dark and eerie. It feels like something that could have been on Without Warning. Sure. Drake can slip into that. You know, Drake's versatile. He can kind of get on whatever. I think he fits really well on Back Outside Boys. I think he sounds a little bit weird on Jumbotron shit, popping, whatever. Everything else he can fit on. It's cool, but it's not super creative, and I felt like it would have been cooler to see 21's world show up more in the production.
I agree. Yeah, given the versatility of Drake, I think he could have catered to his collaborator a little better. It felt like Drake put 21 in an outfit that he didn't want to wear. Yeah. And 21's like awkwardly standing there in like all white pajamas or something.
Starting with our worst beats. My worst beat on this record is Treacherous Lil Twin. The reason this is my least favorite beat on this album really just comes down to like that little melody in it. I just hate that. It just gets really annoying.
For me, that little melody fits the staccato flow really well in this song, and I do like this beat a lot.
Well, that's why the whole song feels so trapped in this little like bouncy staccato thing that doesn't make it feel like fun to listen to after the first like 2 or 3 listens. Fair. It honestly feels like a Lil Baby song. Like it just should have been a Lil Baby song. You my treacherous little twin, you my twin.
I do like treacherous little twin though.
Like that's a funny word. Treacherous is for like driving conditions. Yeah. It's not for like a person. You're not like, you're treacherous. Nobody says that. It's literally like, it's treacherous out there, be careful. What's your worst beat?
Hours in Silence.
That makes sense.
It's lifeless.
I'm always gonna keep it a buck. You give me that shit and I'm steady on my ways.
What's going on here? It feels just like ambient and lifeless. I don't know. It's got nothing for me.
The only dynamics that I like are at the beginning with that Memphis flip that's in it that makes it feel like, oh, this is kind of weird for an R&B song. But then it gets to the places where it's like just synth kind of like moving and then Drake just gets to wail on it. Like, I mean, I agree. This is probably worse than the beat that I picked, but
we don't want to have the same one.
Right. You can't have the same thing. So those are 2 beats that we don't like.
No. What's your favorite?
My favorite beat on the album is Privileged Rappers. This one was tough for me because I like certain parts of certain beats. Yeah. Like honestly, the second half of Middle of the Ocean is my favorite moment production-wise on the entire record.
I agree.
But Privileged Rappers is another beat that I just love and I wanted to point out.
I hate a privileged rapper who don't even know what it takes. The diamonds they hit like a rainbow.
Fire. That's, I mean, that tone to those keys.
Yeah, like that.
Just,
it feels like a real piano, like a boom.
Yeah, and it just has like an ambiance to it. It's like a classic Drake tone that just takes you there.
Honestly, though, this feels like it's like a perfect Gunna beat.
Yeah, you said that yesterday, and I kind of agree. But
Like, it just feels like the best Gunna beat to ever exist, and Drake got it. You know what I mean? Strangely enough, I wish that this song was Gunna and J. Cole. And I don't even like J. Cole like that, but I just feel like I can imagine J. Cole just doing something crazy for this song, and then have Gunna on the hook.
Yeah, I think it's just really well balanced. You have that tight groove, and then, like you said, those deeper tones surround the space, and it's just like, it's a nice room to sit in.
What's your favorite beat?
Pussy in Millions.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's hard to find a love that she keep on getting deeper. Who said it's cheaper to keep her?
To me, it's by far the most dynamic thing going on. And at first I was like, oh, it's almost too noisy. There's almost too much going on. But then it grew on me. I love hearing those horns behind Travis. I like kind of the dry, almost real Kit sounding snare that's here. No, it works well. It feels nostalgic for Drake, but it also feels like it has that sliding 808. It has some modernness to it.
I like that it's able to get very quiet and then very loud.
Yeah.
Like, it's a super dynamic beat in that way. The first time I heard it, though, really, the beginning of it really reminds me of that one Jack Harlow song, Lil Secret. I only remember because we reviewed his, like, I don't listen to that album, but we reviewed it, so I listened to it a bunch. But right away, it reminded me of that. And then it goes a different direction that makes me, like, I like this. I like Pussy in Millions. I don't like that song, but it's just funny that it reminded me of it.
Sorry.
Let's talk about some of the samples from this album.
Probably my favorite part about any album discussion.
So we'll start with the most obvious one.
Yeah, the one people are talking about.
One More Time, Daft Punk, interpolation on Circo Loco.
Welcome out of retirement. Drake shit all over your classic song.
No, the hair was gray. Oh yeah, alright, don't do romancing.
Oh my god, I should have honestly picked this for the worst beat, because like, it sounds fine because the original song sounds fine, but the vocals are so separate from the beat, and then the fact that he just did that, you know the hair was great, I was just like, no way am I listening to Drake do this right now.
Feels like a really amateur flip of something that is a modern classic.
It just sounds like a DJ Khaled song. I hate that. I do really like the rapping on the verses of that song. Like, that song won me over in a certain way.
It does feel like the one where they're having the best time.
The album needs it.
Yeah.
I do think the album needs that song, but at the same time, it's like, I just wish it was a better version of that song.
Yeah, it's baby stuff.
What do we got next?
Major Distribution samples Elijah Fox's East Village.
Okay, let's hear it.
Oh,
that's sultry.
Yeah, that melody. I love that melody.
Me
That's
too.
like Major Distribution's like top 3 or 4 on the album for me. I love that song. But just the way that he sings over that one, he's saying some kind of corny shit, but he pulls it off. Like, Major Distribution, yeah, my label on my dick for real.
I'm gonna have to listen to that. That sounds like a little windy fall afternoon walking in the East Village.
I'm getting a little bit of winter vibes from it, like sitting by the fire. Like, if you don't want to play Christmas music yet, but it's still cold enough that you have to stay in and sip something.
Yeah, you play
I'd listen to Elijah Fox's East Village.
some classy jazz piano.
Major Distribution, man, my label on my dick for real.
He really pulls it off.
Yeah, they bring it up a few octaves, a little higher, and then he just sings that melody. It's nice. What's the next sample here, G?
Privileged Rapper samples Ballad for the Fallen Soldier by the Isley Brothers.
All right, so an Isley Brothers sample.
He loves pulling from their crate.
Oh, no wonder I like that beat so much.
Yeah, let's have sex in the car. Oh God. The Maybach came with a bar. I'm wiping my dick with.
Wait, what's he wiping his dick with?
Her bra.
That makes sense.
Totally. So what's the next sample?
Spin Bout You samples Give Me Your Lovin' by Ubi.
I do like that flip a lot.
Yeah.
Spin Bout You's not my favorite song on the record, but that flip is one of the better ones.
Just a classic R&B sounding hook there.
Yeah.
Tonight, I can feel the rain falling on me and I'm outside the window, yearning for my love.
To you, hope you ain't loving the crew. How many bodies you got? Pray it ain't more than a few.
Hard.
Just wish thematically that song wasn't so jumbled.
Yep. Grant, what's the next sample here?
Treacherous Twin samples Lonely Days by Genuine.
Oh.
This is the Genuine
The
one.
Genuine sample, okay.
Seems like that plucky thing you don't like is like a sitar or something.
From a Genuine song.
Yeah, and that's got a little groove to it.
You my treacherous little twin, and you know that we locked in, and I love you like my kin.
Seems like it took pieces of the vocals and slowed those down, pitched them down and slowed them down, and then took the plucky thing and sped that up. I mean, it's an interesting flip, but just didn't turn into a beat that I like.
Yeah, that's fair. Anytime he bakes in old school R&B stuff, I'm kind of there for it.
I mean, it does feel like something that would have been on If You're Reading This Is Too Late, which is my favorite Drake project, but that beat just doesn't do it for me.
Fair enough.
What do we got next?
Hours in Silence samples Talk Ya Ass Off Part 2 by DJ Paul and Juicy J.
Okay, so this is the Memphis flip that I'm talking about in Hours in Silence. That's interesting.
So a song recorded on a flip phone.
I don't even think a flip phone existed when they made that.
Killing me business, so what? She leaning on me, I'm a crutch. She creaming on me, I'm a crush.
Yeah, lyrically not my favorite part of the song, but the Memphis flip here used as texture, which is kind of how he uses it on Jimmy Cooks too.
Yeah.
It's an interesting, it just goes like, like the flow acts as like a little bit of like a texture momentum thing for the song.
Yeah, it's almost like that old school Memphis flow becomes the percussion.
Yeah.
For this beat. What's the last sample here, Grant?
Middle of the Ocean samples a Dipset song, which samples an OJ song called Cry Together.
Okay.
You know about the OJs. Huh?
I do. The OJs from Canton, Ohio, who became pillars of the early 60s soul scene in Philadelphia. I think they had a #1 Love Train. Might have heard of it.
Love Train. Oh, that's them.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Awesome group.
Dipset, Jim Jones.
Oh, those strings, man. That drum rhythm is such a tight pocket, and where those strings just kind of drape over it, those strings hit like a fucking 808.
Yeah, that's some of Drake's best rapping happens on top of that too. So it's just crazy. Like, bam!
And I believe Dipset kind of sped up the original one, and then Drake sampled that sped up version. But you can trace it all the way back to like 64, which is awesome.
Whipping the vest ball for 6 tequilas. Big Benjamins like the Pittsburgh Steelers.
It's amazing.
It's so sick.
That's by far my favorite sample work going on the project. But all in all, I think he chose really cool samples here.
Yeah, definitely. He always does.
He's got the bankroll for it.
Now our best and worst songs.
Your worst.
My worst song on the project is Hours in Silence. And I'll explain why after we hear a short clip of it.
It's my fault for once I take accountability.
I will say there are parts of this song that I do like. And one of them, controversially, is 21's part.
Yeah, I like his crooning.
I like the way they treated his vocals. If he's gonna sing, that's a good way to kind of like can it and make it feel like a specific thing. I like the melody he hits on it. I think he actually fits pretty well. The problem with this song is just it feels like it's an hour long.
Yes.
And we've heard him do all of this before. Same melodies, same aimlessness, just kind of like crooning, singing, whatever. Why does that type of song have to be here?
And the it's my fault, it's my fault, it's my fault bridge is just like, ugh.
It honestly reminded me of Alex Jones' Channel 5 interview.
Yes.
You know, where he's like, gingivitis, that was me. Adult acne, that was me. It's my fault for once. Like, it's my fault that you was superstar on your knees.
Yeah.
Like, ugh, this is gross, like, stupid Drake shit.
Yeah.
He writes from the perspective of, like, the biggest ego of all time when he does R&B. It's so weird.
Yeah, it's insane. That brings us to my worst track, which is another Drake crooning one. I guess it's Fuck Me, the outro track.
Yeah.
I need you to come over once again.
I kind of touched on it earlier. While some of the tones and stuff he does with his vocals here can be kind of sweet, it just feels like Frank, Kanye, Justin Vernon. Like I said, it feels like, why did you make this?
Yeah.
Like, who are you trying to be? Like, he has his bag, and then he just like tried to do something different here. And I don't know, it came off just nasty.
It's like 60% there. I kind of like almost think it's charming that he tried to make a song like this, but the way that he sings on it, the mood is just completely different from the rest of the record. It felt like, here I go making an outro.
Yeah, it feels like a totally different character.
I mean, I don't like this song, but there are moments of it that I like. I definitely prefer it to Hours in Silence in a weird way.
Now for your best.
Well, we have the same best. Hey. We both agree that Middle of the Ocean is the best song on this record.
It's undeniable.
8 carats like vegetarians, nigga, the ears are droopy. Contract Lord of the Rings.
Thick as the script for the movie.
God, it makes me feel cool.
Most of his best rapping shows up on this song. This also feels to me like the type of song that I wish Drake would get Jay-Z on.
Oh, yeah.
He always gets Jay-Z on these like dud tracks that are supposed to be some sort of attempt at a hit or something. I want to hear Drake and Jay-Z rap on something like this. Like that production production, probably the best on the record. And then he's really like in it for this one. You can tell he's there, present, writing the most clever shit he can come up with, you know?
It's that classic like run-on flow too. He's just speaking. It's a classic.
Yeah, it really does feel like a classic Drake song off the bat. Some honorable mentions for best tracks on here. I do think Broke Boys is maybe my favorite that's a hit.
Yeah.
It feels like a hit on the record, along with the first 3 songs and Pussy and Millions. If you had just those songs, you had the first 3, you had Middle of the Ocean, Pussy and Millions, and Broke Boys. Throw Back Outside Boys on it.
That was gonna be my honorable mention for, that's close to one of my favorites. Like, that song's really good.
It's grown on me with each listen. It has a little bit of that flimsy internet money production on it, but I think Yachty really beefs it up. And the melody is undeniable. Like, once you start listening to it, it just gets stuck in your head.
It does feel about 4 or 5 songs too many on here.
I think the critics are gonna tear this one apart because it's hard to justify everything that shows up here.
Yeah.
But if you're a fan out there and you listen, I think it's the most exciting Drake album to listen to on first listen that we've gotten in years.
Yeah, I agree. I was excited with Honestly Nevermind. I loved that project.
I don't know if love, but I do like it.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those that it took a second to really sit with people where they did end up liking it. And that's what Drake said. And if you're like a house music purist, you're definitely going to find things to dislike about how cheap it feels or something. But this is Drake back in his normal zone, but doing it better than he's done it on the past couple records. You know, you got to go back all the way to Nothing Was the Same. And if you're reading this, it's too late to get like a really good record front to back that is Drake just doing Drake. And I feel like he does Drake on this record pretty well.
Yeah, but I think we get to witness the things that might end up being his downfall.
I mean, he already has, like, there's enough skepticism surrounding him that exists kind of still in the meme world where people will make a joke about him having romantic relationships with minors, you know, or at least the hints that are there that might suggest that sort of thing. Those exist in the zeitgeist of Drake, but haven't surrounded him enough where it's pulled him down from where he is.
Right.
The same way it's playfully talked about that Future is toxic.
Yeah.
You know, there's stuff that exists about Drake that's out there and it's kind of like in the footnotes of everything. And you can kind of write it off as part of the art, part of the character, or you can take it seriously and say, hey, is this a good guy? Here, you have enough specific outward references about other people that you get to kind of look at them individually and be like, should he be saying this?
Right. It almost feels like he's doubling down on some of those footnotes and like leaning into them, and that might not be the right move. I don't know.
It's a more low-key version of the, I'm gonna play the villain.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I've got fuck you money.
Yeah, I think it was in Rolling Stone I read. It was like when Kendrick's album first came out, there were a few things in it that perked everyone's ears up and were like, hey, maybe you shouldn't say that, or like offended certain people. But Kendrick invited you into like an open dialogue, like a therapy type session. Drake is saying those things that might offend people or perk your ears up. He's like bragging about him. He's not inviting you into like, hey,
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. We all have bad in us. How do we fix this? He's like,
it's a weird thing to grapple with because I do think I've enjoyed listening to this album so much, and then I felt a little bad about enjoying it that much because it's like I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that he said here. I don't agree with a lot of the stuff 21 says either.
Right.
Like, that's kind of my overall take. Well, that was our best and worst for Drake and 21 Savage's new album, Her Loss. Let us know what you thought about the album down in the comment section. Let us know your best and worst tracks, beats, samples, and lyrics. And let us know what album we should do this for next. We haven't done one of these in a while. We did miss some big albums, only because we were busy, by the way. We should have done one for the JID album. We definitely should have done one for the Babytron tape, the Smino album. There's a bunch of great music out right now. We're gonna try to do more of these in the future though, so if there's an album that you really wanna hear us talk about, let us know. Other than that, make sure you like the video, subscribe if you wanna see more. All that stuff I said at the beginning, and grade when you'd like to leave these wonderful people with some advice to leave or live their lives by.
the sun too shines in cesspools and is not polluted.
All right, this has been HIVEMIND TV. Love you. See you in the next one.
Damn. Where'd you learn?
21 Savage has got a pick. Knives or guns? Knives.